Yesterday, you might remember I explained what a transitioning real estate market was, where it's essentially a buyer looking in the future at what they think might be happening in terms of a real bad real estate market coming and not wanting to pay too much, and a seller looking in the rearview mirror at what used to be there and not wanting to accept what's happening today. It's arguably the worst type of real estate market to be in for the public, for the client, and for the realtor. We know what a buyer's market is, we know what a seller's market is, we know what a balanced market is. And in a perfect world, a balanced real estate market is all we ever have. We know that's not logical and it's never going to happen. Not all the time. Here's the tricky part about a transitioning real estate market is it's because there are so many questions. In a buyer's or a seller's market, both parties, while one has the upper hand, they're kind of aware of the situation. And for one, it's awesome. For one, it sucks. Transitioning, it is the unknown, like I said. And the tricky part is, if we're representing a seller, I'm going to stop. I'm going to tell a story. This is an actual situation that I'm involved in right now. I'm dealing on a house with a colleague from another office, a friend. We actually wrote a couple, 3 weeks back. The deal didn't come together. My buyer dug in and the seller dug in, so we're a ways apart. And recently I've been talking to my colleague, trying to revive this offer. He's trying to get my buyer up. I'm trying to get his seller down. And we're laughing because, wow, we're negotiating again. We have not done this for 2 years. It's the last 2 years, it's been, here's the price. If your buyer doesn't pay it, somebody else will. So as we're talking about, and as we're friendly arguing about our positions, it's interesting. So in our situation, my buyer and myself, we're kind of looking a little bit in the future and we're saying, no, this is what this home is worth. And arguably, you should be happy to have a seller because in a few months, you may not get this much. Whereas my colleague is firm in his position. And maybe he's not firm in his position. Maybe he's just working for a seller and he's defending that position. And that's cool. That's what we're supposed to do. But my colleague's position is, this is a special home. It's unique. The market may or may not be doing this, but this home is going to sell for here. And our value is there. My fellow realtor and I, as we're negotiating, trying to get something back on paper, we've actually made a bet. I've suggested that by a certain date, he will not get over a certain price for this home, where he has said, no, Blake, you don't know what you're talking about. I will. So I won't say, well, the bet is dinner and the clock's ticking on my friend. So I'll keep you informed to see who wins. But my point is, though, back to the whole idea of a transitioning market, it is tricky because the seller, we want to make the seller understand, look, you may not be liking this price today, but if you're definitely going to sell, if you are sure you're going to sell, you may not like what you're getting today, but are you prepared to look at the potential future in the next few months? And would you sell for this much later? Because if the answer is yes, I would, I don't want to, but I would, well then sell for this much now, a little bit higher, because that may be coming. And it's tricky. It's that line. We don't know. We don't want our sellers to undersell, but we want to give you the firm news to make a tough decision so you're happy in the long run. Conversely, the buyer, sometimes you don't want to overpay and you want to negotiate accordingly, but real estate is a long haul game. What's your happiness worth? Because there are times, I've seen many times where a buyer digs in and that house is not worth that. And then 2-3 weeks later, somebody else comes along and pays it. And in the long run is very happy. So it's a complicated situation. If you are buying or selling, pay attention to the news, because of course that's reality. And that is the psyche of the market where you are, but also pay really close attention to the micro market of where you're looking. Maybe the market kind of is soft overall, but maybe in this little segment, it's not that bad. Maybe it's worse. Anyway, bit of a ramble on the complication of a transitioning market. Don't know if I explained it. I hope I did a little bit. If you've got questions about real estate in the central Okanagan, if you're a buyer wanting to know just where things are at, give Marlene and I a call. We'd love to help. If you're a seller and you're wanting to know where your home fits in the market today, looking at your specific neighborhood, we are always there for you. We'd appreciate your calls. Happy Friday.